Vorobiev in a board battle, able to tip the puck away from Koivisto and out.
Somebody better get him a stick.
Anton Babchuk, 19 years of age. Going up the middle, Vorobiev has it. Flipped it smartly ahead, but McLean ran into lots of traffic at the Blues line. And the Hawks then are able to keep it in. Niemanen's pass didn't get through. Babchuk held it in, bouncing puck. Nieminen with it. Billy Nieminen was bodied away from it behind the net, and the Blues waltz out of their own end. And it's shot into the Hawk zone. It'll be played by Babchuk. Able to backhand it out to center. Jackman. That is pass picked off. Babchuk again. Tries the left side. And Lang rolled it to center. Cote was checked there. We just passed the halfway point of the opening period here tonight in this preseason action between the Hawks and the Blues. Their divisional rival. This actually technically is a home game for St. Louis. And now the Blues Sena trying to waltz out of the corner. Lang had to battle to try to stay with him. He did well enough to hook the puck away from him. And now back behind the goal. Here's Sena with it again. Looking to center, but nobody home for St. Louis. And the Hawks Cote hit hard, but played it ahead, and Vandenbush able to muscle it out of the zone.
Well, the majority of the play has been played in the Chicago half of the ice, but so far so good as far as the score is concerned. They're able to weather the storm. The Hawks will continue to aggravate them.
Nickel getting taken down. The puck is then shot out of play, and the game remains scoreless with Craig Anderson debuting tonight quite nicely in this one. Your program has a lucky red sticker.
No two are the same. Their lives are as different as concrete and consulting, medicine and manufacturing. Here's to the small business owners, separated by the differences in where each is going, bound by the confidence they'll get there. Seeing small business differently. SBC.
The new 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix with optional driver's package has aluminum wheels, wide track handling, and the largest V6 in its class. Chicagoland, it's a rush, hour after hour. And now get a 2004 Pontiac Grand Prix with driver's package for around $229 a month with Smart Buy financing. Residency restrictions apply. Call for details. This is not a lease. Own your Grand Prix today. See your Chicagoland Pontiac dealer.
If you're a Bears fan, there are two reasons you've got to watch NBC5. First, we've got Bears Game Day Live every Sunday morning at 10:30, sponsored by Popeyes. NBC5's Mark Chanowski and legendary Bears coach Mike Ditka prepare you for the day's game. Then, after the game, you've got to watch Bears Game Night Live at 10:45, sponsored by Canon, right after Sports Sunday with Ryan Baker. Bears Game Day Live and Bears Game Night Live. Two great reasons you've got to watch NBC5 Sunday.
Tomorrow at 12:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Blackhawks will get the first power play after a lengthy discussion. We didn't understand why there wasn't a penalty called on Johnson. He fired the puck right into the seats. And they talked about it, and finally the Hawks will get a power play as a result.
It's dumped into the Blues zone. Radulov tipped it to the corner. Calder jammed it back to the line. Kukin going rink wide. Here's Quint, a shot. And Johnson got a piece with his blocker. Calder works the board. And some help from Radulov. And here's Arneson coming up with a deep slot to Quint. Fakes, got a man down, then shoots. Stand up save. Johnson, he took that one right in the midsection and held it.
You saw it all the way. Good fake by Quint at the point. The forward went sliding for the fake, trying to block the shot. You're going to leave your feet. You better make sure you get the shot. Good patience by Quint. A quick wrist shot, but right up the middle. And Johnson saw it all the way. Was not screened. There wasn't anybody in front to distract. They were late getting to the front.
Blues get this draw and clear it.
Take a look at young Babchuk on this point. If he gets a chance to crank it up, Pat, he really has a big shot.
He sure does. He has shown that big, hard, heavy. Like Brian Sutter today compared his shot to Al McInnes. Now that's some pretty tall cotton to be waltzing around in. Here comes John Clem now. Gave it to Nieminen. Gets the line. Babchuk then held it in. Rink wide. Here's Kukkinen with a shot and a save by Johnson. Holding.
Kukkinen coming on a player change with a full head of steam. A good pass across by Babchuk. Playing the left point as a right-handed shot is a tough pass to make, but right on the tape and the quick shot. And Johnson with a glove save. That shot maybe might have been going wide to the short side, but too close to let go. With 24 seconds still left on the delay of game penalty to the goaltender Johnson. And 6:40 to go here in the scoreless first period.
A long flip shot off a Hawks face-off win, gloved again by Johnson. Darren Quint letting that go, and well, here's why the Hawks are on this power play. It happened right before that last commercial break. With Brent Johnson coming out to plate, and he fired it right directly into the crowd, and for some reason it took, I think Danny McCourt might have made the call. The two referees didn't seem to be willing to make the call, or maybe they thought it was deflected, but upon further review it was correctly called a penalty. Here's Kukkinen. He tried to dump it in. It didn't get in there. The Blues, the penalty is over, and both teams are at full strength. Here's Moen, who Brian Sutter has just loved his camp so far. Moen leaves it for Bell. The return pass hit a leg. And Havenoff put it around the boards. Clem along, stop shot, went wide. And the Blues able to come away with it. This is King to the corner. And then again, Quint behind the net. Quint able to rub him off. And Bandit Bush put it to center. Koivisto sends it ahead. and what a hit along the boards by Quentin Lang. He had Big Reed low with his head down and leveled him. And he knew who he was going after. Now Lowe wants to have a word with Lang. And the officials in there quickly, but it probably is safe to say this might not be over. All right, we're late in the first, still scoreless between the Hawks and the Blues in preseason hockey.
Check this out.
September is clearance month at your Dodge dealers. It's your chance to make zero down payment, 0 payments for 6 months, and get 0% APR financing. Or choose generous cash allowances of up to $4,500 on 2003 models. Plus, you'll get Dodge's 7-year, 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Zero in on all the savings during September clearance month. Now through September 30th. See your Dodge dealer for the best values in America. Hit it!
Second power play for St. Louis, a second straight penalty to Quint. But a good stiff check by Lang on Lowe, and I imagine they'll get together before this one's over. It's a solid hit by Lang on Lowe, and it was high. Lowe But
well, you want to get noticed? That's a pretty good way to get noticed.
Sure, he's looking right and blindsided, and a good clean hit by Lang,
who's now out there as a penalty killer along with Cote for the Hawks. Sena for St. Louis gets the line, going rink wide. Mellanby couldn't quite control it. Then Paul jammed it loose, but it escapes everybody. The race is on at center. Cote couldn't quite get to it. And the Blues have it off. Back over the Hawk line. Will ring it around. Sena takes a look from the boards. Put it to the side of the net. Mellanby's pass never got to Paul. Good coverage and a nice pickoff by Nieminen. Then Bell cleared it the other way. 70 seconds left on the Hawk penalty. And we are very late now in the first as the Blues work ahead on their power play. Paul over the Hawk line is checked by Clem. Sena rolled it loose. Laflamme with a bouncing puck, able to keep it in. Threw it in deep. Mayers behind the goal. Jamal Mayers to the deep slot. Laflamme. He shoots one. Tip. It might have grazed the outside of the far post and then deflected out of play.
The pass across to Laflamme on the near side. He got all of it. He had Anderson moving to his left, and it seemed to hit the side of the net, take a funny hop. And a quick reaction, but just missing as Paul was right there as well. But it deflected into the seats of the faceoff to the neutral zone with 30 seconds left on this second St. Louis power play.
And the Hawks able to get control and clear it. Now deep in the blue zone, Laflamme coming out. Able to clear it to center. A lead for Mayers, who tried to sneak behind everybody. The pass escaped him. And the Hawks, Lang. His check couldn't get it out. Now the Blues try to set up on the power play. However, that is now over. It's at the side of the goal. Here's a pass over to the far side. Mellanby looking for help. Put it back in behind. Here's a stop shot. Right through the goal crease it went. Anderson maintained a stand-up position. He made the save. It barely trailed across the line. Now into the corner it goes. And here's Mayers again behind the net. He ran out of time as Pops got to him. And finally the Hawks, Quinn, able to hoist it back the other way.
Anderson was deep in the net on that wraparound attempt. Didn't get a stick down in time, and it trickled across the goal mouth. The Hawks got away with one there, and it's still scoreless.
Now the Blues have control of it, and now here's a scrap on the far side. The gloves are off, and the Hawks have Aitken hammering away with the left hand. He got a couple. Oh, and down he goes. Jonathan Aitken. A one-sided victory in that bout.
Well, I'll tell you what, the one thing they're lacking, the Hawks, is size on the back end and toughness, and that will not hurt his chances. Aitken, originally a first-round pick years ago by the Bruins, and played very well last year in Norfolk, and he landed a solid left at the end of that fight and did some damage. Valiev, I don't think he saw many of those lefts in Russia. Big size advantage there for Aitken, and I think Aitken got the best of him early and then really got a solid left.
Well, Aitken last year with Trent Yanni in Norfolk had over 200 penalty minutes playing the whole season. And he hit him with so many lefts, Valiev was begging for a right. Oh, the draw now has the puck back in play, and the Blues are able to dump it in. Arneson trying to support him behind his own goal. He came out of there with the puck. And out comes Calder. Calder to the line, looking to go up the middle. The Blues had 3 back, breaking up the rush momentarily. Calder got it back. Deep putt to Anderson. Here it comes. And a save by Johnson holding.
Well, Igor Vileyev, Pat, had 153 penalty minutes last year in the American Hockey League in Worcester, so he turned into a tough guy. But a big size disadvantage there, and he paid the price on that knockout punch by Aitken.
Now the Hawks look to work it loose along the boards. Vorobiev was checked and now low with it. Able to flip it to the Hawk line. Kukkonen had the puck at his feet momentarily, nearly lost it, but now got it back, and out come the Hawks. Kukkonen with it to the line. A long flipper is gloved by Johnson, who had thoughts of playing it, now will hold.
A little touch pass through the middle by Vorobiev again as he was going one way, redirected it off the backhand of the heel part of the stick right to the late coming defenseman Kukkonen, and Kukkonen was able to get a shot on goal because of that neat little pass through the neutral zone. 6 shots on goal for the 8 shots on goal for the Blackhawks and 6 for St. Louis, but that's not been an indication of most of the play. A lot of the play has been in the Hawk half of the ice.
Now the Blues, Koivisto able to clear it to center. Havenoff dumping it in. Hawks quickly dump it out. And Koivisto will try again. Lang in pursuit. Nearly forced a turnover, but the puck rolled away from Vandenbush, and then Mayers put it over the line. Here's Cole to the backhand. Just good pad save by Anderson. Rebound. Hit the goal post. Sena got the rebound after Anderson made a nice stop on Cole's attempt. Now the Blues. Allenby had his pass stolen. Bell the other way. To the line. And to put it in there deep. And Allenby for St. Louis. Let his pass deflect. And it's cleared to center ice. Kukkonen backhands it into the center ice area. It'll be held there for a whistle.
Well, Craig Anderson has had an outstanding first period. Got a little help from his friend, the goalpost. He made a good save on the first one. A little 2-on-2 situation. The backhand shot, good save, big rebound. And the quick shot by Sena, who played at Colorado College, signed as a free agent, won the Hobie Baker Award last year. Was not drafted because of his skating ability, but he's not looked out of place tonight in the first period. He can score goals, and he's good in the offensive zone.
And now right off the draw, a penalty coming up here to Kyle Calder for interference.
Well, the only interference, they're only seeing the white jerseys in that call in the first period. But Hawks scoreless with 9 seconds left. This will be the 3rd power play of the game for St. Louis. Hawks have had 1. Neither team has been able to score.
And the Hawks get the draw cleared. That'll finish period 1 in this practice game tonight. So we played 20 in KC. The Hawks and the Blues are scoreless. This is Chicago Blackhawks preseason hockey.
The Hyundai Sonata, a comparison. More standard features than a Toyota Camry LE, including a V6 engine. And yet the Sonata costs $2,100 less when comparably equipped. Add in America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you win. Test drive the Hyundai Sonata starting at just $14,839 at your Hyundai dealer.
Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% APR for up to 60 months.
I love hanging out with my son. I love playing games with him. And I love more than anything probably us just laughing. I mean, at home, I mean, we imitate, you know, coyotes to each other. And he knows what a coyote sounds like. There's nothing greater than the laughter of a child. Because you know it's genuine, you know, they don't care who hears them, they don't care how loud it is, and they don't care if you think it's funny or not. He can do that coyote pretty good.
Are you on a merry-go-round of credit cards, balance transfers, late charges, high interest? Get off the merry-go-round. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Get out of the credit card trap you're in. Don't borrow more. Get my help to consolidate or eliminate your debt under Chapter 7 or 13. Keep your house and car. Listen to my new 24-hour Chapter 7 and 13 info tapes.
1-800-401-4010.
When the sun goes down, the real action heats up. College football, under the lights, in prime time, on TBS Superstation. College football, games worth waiting for, all this season, as part of Big PlayStation Saturday on TBS Superstation.
Brought to you by D&H Financial. For all your mortgage needs, call for your free financial analysis or visit EasyChicagoLoans.com.
Got a project? Need some tools to get it done? Don't spend a lot of money buying something new. Come on down and rent them. We've got them all right here. If you can dream it, we'll help you do it. And you'll save a lot of dough. For solid dependability in rentals, you can rely on Wirtz Rental Company in Chicago and Summit. Renting, the smart way to get things done.
One period in the books in Kansas City as the Blackhawks and Blues are tied up 0-0. Jim Blaney along with Troy Murray, and we're going to talk about a topic that's very near and dear to my heart to start out, Troy, here in the first intermission. Now, there are a lot of people that don't like fighting in the NHL. I'm not one of them. I love it.
Neither am I.
Key part of the game. And you look at the Blackhawks lineup tonight, one way a guy can make the team is by showing some toughness. It's a role that's open for the Blackhawks, and there are some guys in this lineup tonight that have a chance to show Brian Sutter that they can play that role.
Well, there's no question about it. Big Travis Moen got in a fight the other night against Aaron Downey. I mean, it gives him another opportunity to stay in the lineup. A guy like John Aitken, he got into a big fight tonight. He got over 200 minutes in penalties last year in Norfolk, so he knows what his job is. He goes out there, he tangled with one guy. I don't know if Valiev was much of a fighter. Look for
Reed Lowe.
Look for Reed Lowe to come after him, because you don't want anybody on your team to get pushed around. So all of a sudden one guy gets knocked out. Look for Reed Lowe to come after John Aitken.
Well, and here's why this role is going to be key for the Blackhawks. For those of you who have been at the United Center and seen Tuomo Ruutu play, you are going to need a guy in the Blackhawks lineup this year that puts the fear of God into the other team, because just like Dave Semenko did for Wayne Gretzky all those years, there's going to have to be somebody on the Blackhawk team that the other team fears, if not at least respects, so Ruutu has a little bit more room to operate.
Well, that's true. What you have to need is you have to need a guy like Vandenbush or Strudwick, the two guys that are really kind of the legitimate fighters on the Blackhawks. They have to be the guys to stand up and be accountable. But at the same time, you have to make sure that there's team toughness. You're going to have a lot of young guys in the Blackhawks uniform this year, so you got to make sure that these guys know that they have their backs. But again, they have to take care of themselves too, because if you're going to play in the NHL, you got to be able to prove it.
Well, we talked about Aitken and Moen a little bit ago. Coming up after this timeout, we're going to hear from another one of the contenders, Ryan Vandenbush, back in the lineup. We'll hear from him after this timeout. No score in KC. Blackhawks and Blues on Blackhawks preseason hockey here on Fox Sports Net.
Cut up and cleanup time at your local Steel retailer. Get the Steel Mini Boss Chainsaw featuring the exclusive Steel Quick Chain Adjuster. Perfect for homeowners, just $199.95. Got leaves? Clean them up fast with the easy starting Steel BG55 blower that converts easily to a vacuum. Just $159.95. It's cut up and cleanup time. See your servicing Steel retailer today. Look in the yellow pages under saws or visit steelusa.com. Are you ready for a Steel?
contractor designs, installs, repairs, and maintains the piping systems that deliver your gasoline, heat and cool your buildings, and deliver life-saving oxygen to medical patients. Those responsibilities belong only in the hands of trained professionals. The contractors of the Chicago MCA employ workers with the best training available. Aren't these the professionals you want on your construction or maintenance job? The MCA and Local 597, taking on tomorrow.
Start your Sunday with NASCAR This Morning. Get the inside track from the pre-race show that'll have your motor running before the green flag drops. With interviews and in-depth analysis, shift your race days into high gear. NASCAR This Morning on Fox Sports Net.
Comcast, proud to be Chicagoland's new cable company.
After one period of play here in Kansas City, it's scoreless between the Blues and the Blackhawks. Our guest in this first intermission is one of the hard-nosed Blackhawk players and one of the quality character guys the Hawks have, Ryan Vandenbush. And Ryan, the period started off a little sluggish, but some real solid hits and a physical end to the period, and the Hawks seemed to get into it that way.
Yeah, second half of the period was definitely a little more spirited than the first half, and AC got in a good little bout there, turned things around, and there's some good hits laid out there by Langer and my teammates, or my line mates, I should say. It's pretty spirited out there. It's a good finish to the first period.
Ryan, before you go into a game like this, you know what your role is, and you look at the St. Louis roster, and you see a lot of smaller forwards, but they're kind of the agitator type. They get under your skin. Do you have to pick your spots? Well, you analyze that before a game like this?
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, there's so many new guys coming into the league. I'm not getting any younger, and there's a lot of younger guys coming in, so I have a good relationship with the younger guys, so I get a lowdown on who's who on the other team, and there's a lot of times there's smaller guys that run around, and but you got to be careful because those guys are just going to run around too, so you don't want to be taking a retaliatory penalty on those guys, so you got to be smart about it.
Ryan, have you been surprised about the lack of altercations so far into training camp? Though you had one in that first period, it was rather one-sided, but does that surprise you so far?
You know what, I was just talking about that with a buddy of mine the other day. Actually, it was Warren Reichel, and he was saying the same thing. This year has been the least amount of majors in exhibition so far, so in a way it doesn't surprise me with all the rule changes, but at the same time it's exhibition games, so everyone's out there to prove themselves too, so it kind of surprises me in that aspect too. You know, fighters fight, the hitters hit, and the goal scorers score. But, you know, it's good tempo out there, and maybe the game's changing, who knows?
Well, it seems to have changed. The rules have seem to go against guys like yourself, and they seem to want to cut back in that type of a situation. So it's very important to pick your spots and do it at the right times.
Well, definitely. There's definitely no more one-dimensional players out there anymore. You got to be able to, you know, take care of yourself, number one, and also you got to be able to play the game, and you got to at least be able to skate and move the puck. So if you can't do that, then you won't be in this league anymore.
Well, thanks for stopping by. Good luck tonight and the rest of the way.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, Ryan Vandenbush, our guest. We'll be back with more after these words.
Sportsnet is giving you the chance to see some of the world's top action sports stars in person when they come to Chicago. Log on to fsnchicago.com right now and enter to win a pair of tickets to the Tony Hawk Boom Boom Huck Jam at the United Center October 17.
Water. It's a resource we can't live without. But when it's in your basement, that's something you don't want to live with. At Permaseal Basement Systems, we see this problem every day, from damp and musty basements to severe water damage. We can fix the problem and help make your basement livable again. Call Permaseal Basement Systems. A dry basement is just a phone call away. For peace of mind today, call Permaseal Basement Systems at 1-800-421-7325.
Hey, we're new in town. We followed some friends out and came to work for Joe's Crab Shack. Let's go, show them what you got. You know where this Joe's Crab Shack is?
Head to Joe's Crab Shack and enjoy steak and fried shrimp for only $10.99. Tender, juicy top sirloin steak grilled to perfection, served with your choice of coconut or fried shrimp for only $10.99.
Don't you know you gotta go eat at Joe's? Go Claw! He always wanted a boy. She hits both ways, you know.
The Hyundai Santa Fe, a comparison.
More standard features than a Ford Escape XLS, all for over $1,300 less when comparably equipped. And only the Santa Fe is protected by America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. Looks like we have a winner. Test drive the Hyundai Santa Fe, nicely equipped for just $17,634 at your Hyundai dealer.
Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get $1,000 cash back or 0% APR through September 30th.
A father's absence has a serious effect on a child. Studies show fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school and 11 times more likely to exhibit violent behavior. I'm Jeffrey Loving. I'm an attorney who concentrates in protecting fathers' rights. Fathers, know your rights and know that visitation interference is now a crime in Illinois. To learn more about your rights as a father, call 312-356-DADS.
Comcast, proud to be Chicagoland's new cable company.
No score after one period of play in Kansas City between the Blackhawks and Blues as the Hawks get started. A little preseason action here on Fox Sports Net. Of course, we're back next Saturday night as well. But an interesting first period, Troy. Not a lot of goal-scoring chances. Not a lot of great opportunities for Craig Anderson to show if he's the guy that is indeed going to win the backup position.
He made a couple nice saves early on the St. Louis Blues power play, and I think that's what you want to see. The last game, Michael Layton didn't get a lot of work in the first two periods, but Anderson made a couple good saves early in the game. You know what? The goaltenders can't dictate what happens in the game, so when the saves are there, they got to make it. As the opposite is a forward. You go out and you can make something happen, like Aitken did here. He goes out, and we found out that Believ had 153 penalty minutes in the minors last year, so he knows what he's doing. So I'll tell you what, 6'4", 230 pounds, over 200 minutes in penalties for Aitken last year. He knows what he's doing.
Let's talk about this goaltending battle as it's going to evolve a little bit over the course of the game. Craig Anderson is going to play the first two periods, then we'll see Michael Layton in the third. It's the opposite of the way it was the other night. I want to go back to something you just said, because you talked about how a goaltender really has to take what's given to him, and that was the case in the game at the United Center the other night for Michael Layton. Did he look spectacular? No. But he stopped everything that came his way, and that's just as important.
You know, that's what we talked about. We were sitting up watching the game, and we talked about the fact that there's nothing that Michael Layton could do in that game because he wasn't getting a lot of action, but he didn't hurt himself in any way because he made the saves. Craig Anderson came in, had a little bit busier of a third period. So, you know, as I said, the goaltenders have to let the play come to them. As a forward trying to make somebody notice them, they turn around and they can initiate it, where the goaltenders kind of have to wait and let it come to them.
Well, don't forget, Craig Anderson is going to have a chance to make some big saves. The second period starts. St. Louis back on the power play when we go back to Kansas City for period number 2. No score between the Blackhawks and Blues. Preseason hockey in KC.
Ultimate fantasy football show. We know who to start, who to sit, who's a stud, and who's a dud. The hidden gems. We know what you don't. Weekends on Fox Sports Net.
Congratulations to the Chicago Cubs, the 2003 National League Central Division champions.
If you're a Bears fan, there are two reasons you've got to watch NBC5. First, we've got Bears Game Day Live every Sunday morning at 10:30, sponsored by Popeyes. NBC5's Mark Chanowski and legendary Bears coach Mike Ditka prepare you for the day's game. Then, after the game, you've got to watch Bears Game Night Live at 10:45, sponsored by Canon, right after Sports Sunday with Ryan Baker. Bears Game Day Live and Bears Game Night Live. Two great reasons you've got to watch NBC5 Sunday.
It's clearance time on a huge selection of Toyota trucks. Get to Toyota's 2003 clearance for great deals on the iForce V8 Tundra. Take your choice of $2,000 customer cash or 1.9% financing for 60 months on Tundra. And check out the great deals on the 03 Tacomas. Toyota time. The time is now. See your local Toyota dealer today.
College football presented by Kyocera returns to Fox Sports Net with a big Pac-10 showdown when Arizona State squares off against Oregon State. College football kicks off tonight after Blackhawks post right here on Fox Sports Net.
8-7, the Hawks outshot the Blues in the first period. The game is scoreless as we start the second. The Blues, remember, on a power play, a late penalty to Kyle Calder, the reason for that. And they're trying to get the clock set to go here for the middle frame.
Oh, two Hawk players. Okay, they had 113 and 151. Which one's which? Now there's only one. I think they only have one number. Player 2 has had all the penalties.
All right, the second is underway. The Blues send it in. Kukanen chased it down, tried to clear it, deflected up high. Blues tried to keep it in, but could not. Barrett Jackman waited to the Blues have it off. He fires it in. Got Mellenby to the corner, kicked it loose. Sena got help to roll it to the line. Jackman has it. Sends it across to Havenoff, back to Barrett. Jackman to Havenoff, a one-timer. Tip. That hit a Hawk stick of Quint and went wide. And the Hawks retrieve, and Bell calmly able to send it the other way. Now the Hawks look to steal when Cote has it and couldn't control it in time to stay onside, so we'll try to waste a little time. However, on his clearing attempt back in there, the Hawks just couldn't get back onside.
On Wednesday, October 8th, the first 20,000 fans to enter the United Center will receive a Blackhawk team calendar courtesy of Pepsi. Home opener, it's the Minnesota Wild.
Who will be without their great young star Gaborik, unless something changes very quickly. Still embroiled in a contract impasse. Opening night a week and a half from tonight, October 8th. And the Blues send one in. Darren Quint sends it right back out. And Bremanis for the Blues. Now comes away. Johnson dumps it ahead, but that deflects. And the Hawks, Kukanen, fired up the length of the ice. Calder's penalty over. Both teams are at full strength now. King tapped it into Chicago ice. Kukanen tapped it out. And now it's controlled by Calder on the right side over the line. Kyle Calder had his pass deflected. Then he got it back, but couldn't find Arneson. Then Tyler got to it. Tyler Arneson along the board. Surrounded by three Blues. Jam the Blues. Here's Calder, a shot and a save by Johnson. Kyle Calder found himself all alone 10 feet from the net. Then popped the long drive. Tip. That one hit the eventually hit the pad of Johnson and was tapped aside. And back to center it goes.
Best real pressure of the night so far for the Hawks at even strength. Solid work by Arneson and Calder. And Johnson with two good saves on Calder.
Calder trying to fight his way to the Blues line. Got help to flip it ahead, but St. Louis quickly out. Finley nearly lost it. And now Lost it at the Hawk line. Jackman for St. Louis. Lost it at center under pressure from Vorobiev. It's stolen away. McLean waits. Trying to center. He was a little too late trying to get it to Nieminen. As Vorobiev did a nice job to force a turnover.
He forced the turnover, Pat, and then was ready to take off to make it a 2-on-1. And just as he took off to get open, his stick was yanked away from him. No call there either.
Oh, it's preseason for everybody. Here's Mike Denton deep into the Hawks zone. So the Hawks are going to get a penalty here.
This is number 9 official.
I think that's Blaine Angus.
Nieminen will be sent off. He bumped into a player and knocked him flying in the neutral zone after the puck was dumped in. Another power play for St. Louis, their 4th of the night.
Jackman put it up the boards. Mellenby takes a look. Centered, and the one-time attempt fluttered wide. And the Blues Varlamov. Now it's held in. Havanoff. Varlamov trying to center. Jackman snuck in, couldn't tip it home. And the Blues able to keep it in. Now here's a drive. Sent up over top of the net by Varlamov. Jackman for the Blues. He shoots that, hit a leg, and finally the Hawks able to clear it out of the zone. Puck bouncing around at the Hawk line. Mayers left it along the boards. Jackman sending it into the corner. Pole going rink wide. Here's a long shot and a save by Anderson. Hawks get the rebound and clear.
Well, Anderson's sharp again here in the early part of the second period with back-to-back power play time, and in between the 2 power plays, the Hawks had a good quality shift and 2 scoring chances of their own.
Blues look to walk in, and Sena tried to center. Here's a shot. That one deflected. And Kukanen hammers it around the boards and out. So one last rush now for the Blues. Man advantage. Mayers on right wing to the line. Through it rink wide. Bremanis shooting. Gobbled up by Anderson. He held it.
Well, Anderson is so quick from side to side. He was able to get over and position himself and await the shot. Got his butterfly position. Got his body in front of it. It hit him in the chest protector, and it squirted loose in front of him, but he was able to cover up. And good job by the Hawk defenders to keep the St. Louis Blues forwards away from the potential rebound.
Jackman walks in deep. That was checked by Clem, but the Blues keep possession of it. Hawk penalty now expiring as it remains in Chicago territory. Martin spinning along the boards, trying to get away from Quint. And a long shot hit the leg of Quint, and out comes Nieminen. Hawks will send it in there. Cote hit hard in the corner and knocked down. Then got back up, and he's got the puck. Cote put it in front. Here's the shot. Stand up save, Johnson. And a good one as he denied Aitken. Now Finley deep in his own end for the Blues. Sends it up the middle, and a pass missing. King sliding the length. The race is on for the icing call, and Babchuk is there to touch it. The game remains scoreless. Preseason hockey from KC.
Max Madsen Mitsubishi. No one in the Midwest has more or has sold more new Mitsubishis for less. And now, there's no other Mitsubishi dealership in America like the all-new Max Madsen's Aurora Naperville Mitsubishi. Row after row of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wake up and drive now to Max Madsen's Aurora Naperville Mitsubishi on East Ogden Avenue, a half a mile west of Route 59. Now, get 0% financing plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty.
Hey, we're new in town. We followed some friends out and came to work for Joe's Crab Shack. Let's go, show 'em what you got. You know where this Joe's Crab Shack is?
Head to Joe's Crab Shack and enjoy steak and fried shrimp for only $10.99. Tender, juicy top sirloin steak grilled to perfection, served with your choice of coconut or fried shrimp for only $10.99.
Don't you know you gotta go eat at Joe's? Go Claw! He always wanted a boy. She hits both ways, you know.
Now, a great White Sox moment. Brought to you by Fifth Third Bank.
That ball hit deep into left field, way back. He looks up. You can't put it on the ball. Yes! A grand slam homer by El Caballo, Carlos Lee, and the Sox win it here in the bottom of the 10th inning.
This great White Sox moment was brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Working hard to be the only bank you'll ever need.
Brendan Cote in the corner, got up with a loose puck. Good heads-up play. Found the defenseman Aitken, and a good quick shot on goal. And Aitken has been impressive here in this game.
Ryan Johnson checked by Pop. And here's a wraparound attempt, and Anderson is able to cover it up. Jonathan Aitken, a few years back, with a very high draft pick, I think of the Boston Bruins. It didn't work out for him there. We mentioned that very solid season for Trent Yawney in Norfolk last year. And the guy he fought in the first period, believe, will not return and probably shouldn't. Did he pummel him? By the way, the Blues have also lost another player, Coy Visco, the defenseman, will not come back. He's injured his shoulder. Meanwhile, Mike Danton put it deep into the Hog zone. Clem surrounded by a couple of Blues. Danton has the loose puck. Put it in behind. A centering attempt deflecting off the back of the net. The light went on when the puck hit the back of the goal. They haven't had hockey in Kansas City for a while.
Well, if they had accounted all of those, the Kansas City Scouts would still be in the league.
Now, Kansas City, this is the first time in 5 years there's been a professional game here. As the Hawks look to move in, here's a shot. Johnson able to stop the attempt from Niemanen. And then McLean knocked down in the corner. Now Vorobiev looking to dig it out. Jammed it to the line. Babchuk couldn't quite get there to keep it in. But to the last time the Blues, we said this is technically a home game for them. They played a preseason game here 5 years ago, which was the last professional game here. They only drew about 9,000 for that game. But tonight, here's a chance for Babchuk. His one-timer was blasted wide. The Blues try to clear, can't get it out, held in. Owen Radulov didn't get much on a one-time attempt set up by Aitken. And the Blues now will be forced to just get rid of it and get a whistle. Good pressure again on that shift for the Hawks.
Well, the last shift, Cote was able to get it out of the corner and get it to Aitken. And then the next shift with Calder and Arneson and Radulov, they pressure the Blues and create some good scoring chances. They're able to get it back to the point. Another good pass from Aitken. And missed one-timer. Otherwise, it's 1-0 Blackhawks.
There's a long shot by Kukin, and he scores! Off a Hawks face-off victory from Cote. Kukin let her go. It seemed to deflect possibly, and the Hawks have a 1-0 lead.
Well, Brendan Cote wins the draw. Clean draw. Kukin gets it through. And somehow Johnson lost sight of it, and it beat him, I think, to the short side. And the Hawks take the 1-0 lead at 8:44 of the second period.
Hawks, who have by and large been very strong here in the middle section. Able to grab the lead on an attempt that I'm guessing Brent Johnson would like another crack at. But Kukkonen, who's been paired with Steve Pops tonight, and Brian Sutter was talking today about in the limited amount of time that those two have played together, they really like that pairing. They seem to play well together, Kukkonen and Pop. And stuff like that's not going to hurt their chances of staying together for a while.
Kukkonen's a very good positional player. He's not the biggest guy, but he's very mobile, and he reads the play well, and he knows how to play his position. He's a little older than the other drafts.
Yeah. He's 22 years of age. That
makes a big difference.
Oh, boy. And just drafted this last draft by the Hawks. And starts his North American career as a 22-year-old. And indeed, what a huge advantage to have that type of international experience that he's had coming into this year as the Blues are unhappy with the bell for a moment, but we will head to a break with Lassi Kukkonen having given the Hawks the lead.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Good. Well, that looks good.
Oh, it's great.
Trying to eat a more interesting lunch? Well, Wendy's has a better way. A freshly made side salad, junior bacon cheeseburger, and an ice-cold Diet Coke, each just 99 cents. A lunch that costs so little yet tastes so good may tempt you to gloat.
What's that?
Tuna fish.
Oh.
Please, try to resist. Wendy's 99-cent super value menu. It's better here. And remember, you can eat great even late.
Cut up and cleanup time at your local Steel retailer. Get the Steel Mini Boss Chainsaw featuring the exclusive Steel Quick Chain Adjuster. Perfect for homeowners, just $199.95. Got leaves? Clean them up fast with the easy starting Steel BG55 blower that converts easily to a vacuum. Just $159.95. It's cut up and cleanup time. See your servicing Steel retailer today. Look in the yellow pages under saws or visit steelusa.com. Are you ready for a Steel?
The Hyundai Sonata, a comparison. More standard features than a Toyota Camry LE, including a V6 engine. And yet the Sonata costs $2,100 less when comparably equipped. Add in America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you win. Test drive the Hyundai Sonata starting at just $14,839 at your Hyundai dealer.
Hurry into the Hyundai winning season clearance and get up to $2,000 cash back or 0% APR for up to 60 months.
1-0 Blackhawks in this exhibition game between Chicago and St. Louis. As LaFlamme was jolted by McLean deep in the St. Louis zone. Now Havana able to flip it up the boards. It got away from Aitken. Here come the Blues 3-on-1. Here's a shot and a fine block out in front of the goal. Babchuk sprawling to help his netminder. Deep in the Hog zone now. Babchuk trying to chase for it. Tipped it to the boards, and Niemanen just couldn't get to it. Ryan Johnson beat him to the puck, and now Niemanen gets it.
And a nice play by Babchuk in traffic to fend off the forechecker, strip it away, and make a soft little pass to his defense mate, and they were able to clear the zone. An impressive third end game for Babchuk. 3-on-1, Aitken took a chance and got caught. A fake shot. Babchuk slid and broke up the pass, and they were able to get back into position and not allow St. Louis a quality chance on goal. So a good defensive play by the youngster Anton Babchuk.
I was mentioning earlier that the Blues 5 years ago played their last exhibition game here in Kansas City. The promoters of this event have been after the Blues for a while to try to get them to come back. And General Manager Larry Flo finally decided he'd take a chance at doing that. And tonight, here's a steal by Arneson, and he fired one up high. Tonight, this arena is sold out. Over 17,200 are here. This will be the largest crowd ever to see a professional hockey game in Kansas City. The best that the old Blades ever did was 14,700. So there are 2,500 more people here tonight than have ever seen a pro game in KC. Well, a great turnout, and one which has almost overburdened the arena. I mean, the concourses and the hallways are not big enough to accommodate this many people. I was out between periods, and almost nobody could move around.
You had a good time?
I was hard-pressed to get back in here.
The Scouts never sold out.
No, they never did. The Scouts, they had a team called the Blades here too, didn't they?
Yeah, the Blades, I think, were in the Central Hockey League.
In fact, the first year professionally for Brian Sutter as a player, this was where St. Louis's minor league team is. So his first year pro, he played here in KC.
Not in this building, I don't believe, though.
I think it was. I think he said it was here. So now Moen and the Blues King have a little collision. And the officials there very quickly. And it looks like we're going to have a penalty or two coming up here.
Well, it looks like there only might be one penalty on King, and it's going to be for high sticking, and the Hawks are going to get a power play. They're second of the game. St. Louis 0 for 4 with the man advantage. The Hawks 0 for 1. 13 shots on goal for the Blackhawks, only 11 by St. Louis. Has been a much better. It's amazing what's happened to this game since Aitken just hammered Valiev.
Yeah.
The Hawks have had pretty well the momentum since that time.
So power play chance here for Chicago, and the Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Good backhand pass by Calder, who then got it back from Arneson. Calder put on the brakes, dropped it to the line, then has it again. Calder for Arneson along the board. To Calder, back to Arneson to the dot. He sweeps it to the line, then Kukin gave it back to him. Arneson to Kukin, and the wrist shot is blocked. Hawks will have to regroup.
Great give and go work up the ice by Calder and Arneson, but they just failed to. I think Arneson had a good chance to let one go and decided to pass it back to Kukkinen, who never got his shot through.
Martin's making a steal here. His centering attempt hit a leg. And Niemanen comes out. And it'll be dumped into the blue zone. This one bouncing to Johnson. He went down to be careful with it. Oops, look out in the crowd. This clearing attempt sailing out of play. All-time heroes in Kansas City sports history, George Brett, who's a huge hockey fan, is here tonight and sitting right behind the.
Well, he and his brothers owned a hockey team in Spokane, the Spokane Chiefs in the Western Junior Hockey League. Brother Kenny.
Yeah, they used to have a restaurant out near Anaheim too, didn't they?
Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
Pretty good spot.
It was no fun.
Well, those were the good days.
Hawks are going to get a penalty here.
That's two for diving.
It's a
Come
dive,
on.
yeah.
You got to call a dive. That's a joke. Well, they're both going on.
I think he is calling them both. Yeah.
This guy's a bit of a head case, this Danton. Jersey let him, traded him to St. Louis. .8s all across the board and 3.7 by the Russian judge. still with 31 seconds of power play time, offsetting minor penalties to Danton and Niemanen. Let's drop the puck. What's the holdup?
Well, the clock is not showing a couple of the penalties that should be.